Cause all we have is pharaohs, yeah. In our suffering is what they make.
Yeah, you know, I love this song so much. Peace be to his ashes, Quincy L. Barrows, aka Quincy B. This kid had talent, and his legacy is actually moving on for the betterment of Liberian music. What's the hope for the future? What's the hope for Liberia as a country? What is the hope for legislative reporters on Capitol Hill? Now we have Musa Kenneh, he's president of the legislative press pool, Legispool to be specific. Musa, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Julius, and good morning to your viewers and critical.
Not Julius, Moses.
I'm Moses. Moses was here.
He's off. Maybe he's been stressed a little after the Saturday feast in Kenneh. But how is it like? You gather your team members on from Capitol Hill to Kenneh. How was it? Was it a good development?
Yeah, it was a resounding success. You know, but we thought the need to provide training for our colleagues, which is very important. You know, recently I was in Ghana for the West African Parliamentarian Press Corps Summit, and there we agreed that there will be no better parliament across the West African sub-region without trained parliamentarian reporters, because these are the people who are the bridge between the constituents and their lawmakers. So we out there to transmit the information coming from the legislature. So if we are not trained, if we are not properly trained, then the information coming from the legislature will be distorted. For instance, as a legislative reporter, you should understand exactly the proceedings in the House. You understand the lawmaking procedure. You understand the politics in there. If you understand that, you have effective reporting coming from the legislature.
So you think most of your members have been lagging some of these rudiments, probably that have led to transgression? I've heard lawmakers in time past threatening legislative reporters in terms of the way they do their story, they do their reporting, and so forth.
In this case, we have absolutely two cases here. First is that, yes, there are legislative reporters who are not trained. And the reason for that is that the issue of retention rate within the media is very low, right? Each time, if you have this person who have the knowledge, the education in the legislature, two things. Either the person no longer wants to be in the media, or the institution is recording the person. And then you have new person coming, the new person that is taking over will need to be trained. And that is one thing. The second aspect is even for us that have been in the legislature for long, it's important to have refresher training. It's important to remind you about your ethics. So these are things that we thought to do, and it is very important. And at this point, we also thought it was important to bring someone with fresh idea, like our counterparts from Ghana. We had the opportunity to bring with us Samuel Ajay. He is the organizing secretary of the Parliamentarian Press Corps of Ghana. So we could know, because we use the double camera legislature, right? They have a unicameral. They have the unicameral, House of Representatives, Parliament. Yeah. But we have the Senate and the House of Representatives. And having a regional body that maybe on a single day we have parliamentarian reporter coming from here going to cover the ECOWAS
exchanges.
So we thought to bring people with new idea. So we cannot be in our box in Liberia that this is what we know.
So Musa, let's look at the area of courage during the day gathering. Was it a day or 2 day gathering?
2 days.
2 days gathering in Kenneh. Where did you place key emphasis? I saw lecturers like the veteran Frank Sewala. You also had the House Press Bureau Director Azir also there. Though we had on the sideline making some remarks, Representative Prince Moidabe, the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Yes, at the program we were key. Big Brother Frank Sewala lecture on the ethics, media law and ethics, something we are keen about, because we want to ensure professionalism within the media, and we want to ensure that at the legislature, because when you are dealing with politicians, you need to be careful and professional, And for us, we are dealing with 103 professionals.
I like that word. You need to be careful, because they tend to use you as professionals.
And that's the problem. I've been in legislature for long as a journalist. With my experience, I always say to my colleagues, we are journalists, we are professional and not politicians. So if you mind a politician, they sway you. So you need to be strong ethically. So that is why, with the background of Frank Siwula in the issue of ethical journalism, so we thought to invite him. We have Azil Reg and others talking about relationship between the House and the legislative reporters. We have McCarthy Ware, who was talking about lawmaking procedure.
The head of the Legislative Information
Services, lawmaking procedure and communication. We have one of our former own, Edwin Clark, who reported from the legislature before, reporting about effective legislative news gathering. And we also have others that came to talk about, also we have three persons talking about lawmaking proceeding. We have the Secretary of the Senate who should have talked about the politics within the legislature, but we received information he could not come. So I had the opportunity to also lecture that because I've been there before and I've attended so many lectures around about the legislature. So we did that. At the end of the day, we had to go back to our constitution. We did some revision of our constitution. Because we thought it's important that we highlight ethics within our constitution, because we are human beings. There may be ethical breaches along the way. So what can we do as an institution? So we had to amend our constitution and get them into it, and maybe try to do our constitution more regional. Try to get the constitution from our colleagues from Ghana, Nigeria, and other areas. Try to bring them to umpire, because with the foundation of the West African Parliamentarian Press Club, something that we were part of the foundation and the first symposium in Accra, Ghana, we thought to have like the ECOWAS series. We have a borderless region right now. We have integration right now. We can have integration with the reporters covering
the reporters also. It means that since ECOWAS is becoming the ECOWAS of state, it means that the ECOWAS of people must also involve all professional backgrounds, including journalists also. Networking is something I know probably you place an emphasis on. Are you hoping probably to have Liberian legislative reporters visiting regional sections in different countries to see the kind of environment, maybe reports from there?
That is exactly
go to the Nigerian Parliament.
That is exactly what we are working
upon.
That is exactly what we are working. We've signed a communicate with the Ghanaian Legislative Press Pool, and we are working with our colleagues from Nigeria. What is making Nigeria that difficult is that because they also have two sections. They have a Senate and House of Representatives. Unlike us, where we have a central body governing us, for them they have a different body, legislative reporters for the Senate, different legislative reporters for the House of Representatives, because they have about 100 persons covering, 100 or more covering the Senate. They have about 200 or more covering the House of Representatives. So they could not have they could not have a single body, right? So since we are working with the guys from the Senate, so we try to extend that from the guys from the House of Representatives. We are working with our colleagues Ibrahim and the guys from the Nigeria, from the Sierra Leone counterpart. We have our men Pierre and others from Burkina Faso. We are going to talk to our colleagues also from Togo. We have this body and we are working to see how we can work together. This is something that's going to expand our mind, expand our understanding about legislative reporting. Because we use the American system, where the Congress system, and they use the Westminster system from Britain. So it's important to understand.
It's a two and diverse style of reporting.
Yeah, two diverse
different legislations and different way of parliamentary procedures.
That is why when we went to Ghana recently, I was so different because my understanding about the American system, the British system was the same, because I've read about it and I've gone through so many training about them. So during the discussion, I understood to their system, they could not understand mine. So it was an opportunity to explain to them that the American system works like this way.
This is
what we do. So it was a very important discussion there, and now it is a pleasure that we've come back to try to share this knowledge with our colleagues here.
Let's look at
it. Is our anticipation that we'll have more persons attending.
Musa, let's look at the responses from your members. How overwhelming was it? Did they actually buy into it?
At the end of the retreat, if you check my phone is flooded with text messages of commendation from our colleagues. They are all pleased that since the formation of the legislative press pool, the training we've just attended is quite different and distinct from other of the trainings. Besides having regular lecturers from here, we have people from our international friends coming to share their experience. I can sit there when Sami ended his lecture. Our colleagues wanted another extension of 1 hour, and we said no, we could just he had a lecture for 1 hour. We had to extend it to 1 hour 30 minutes, and we still wanted it to go to 2 hours, but we said to them, because of the time, we could not extend, and we have the opportunity to have others coming to lecture. It was worth it, and I'm grateful that we were able to achieve this together as a team on our leadership, and this is something that we are pleased, and I'm so happy that we are all achieved this as leaders. I'm grateful to God.
Let's swell away from the retreat a little. Let's get to Capitol Hill. Legislative reporters and lawmakers' relationship. How does it look like? Is it healthy? Is it going well? Are there a lot of transgression and maybe attacks?
Right now, what is happening right now for the House of Representatives and the Senate? For us, our primary objective, our primary role in the legislature is to report independently. And I'm saying to our people, no relationship, no friendship to hinder that. And I'm committed to that, and I'm a journalist, I'm not a politician. Prior to Speaker Buffer Chimba taking over as Speaker of the House of Representatives, we had Speaker Eric Staller, and prior to that, Speaker Edwin Melvin Snow, Eric Staller, J. Emmanuel Nukwe. Okay. We've been doing our independent work, and despite that, we've been working together. Despite all the reports against those speakers, we've been working together. But for Speaker Buffer Chambers, it seems to be different.
Why? What makes him different?
Yes. It's often said, ones who always criticize don't love to also be criticized in return. We joined Speaker Buffer Chambers for the last 12 years, giving him free publicity, and his opinion against Madam Salif. Now he took over, right? And I did a report against the speaker. And I don't know what it is against the speaker. I thought there was a legitimate report to highlight exactly what happens. During the State of the Nation address of the President Joshua first State of the Nation address, we understand, I learned that from my observation, I saw a lot of ethical problem on the part of the speaker, missing the rules. He could not understand the proceeding after being there for 12 years. This is something. It also happened during the induction of the president, inauguration of the president. We also had errors on the part of the speaker. As a journalist at the legislature, who understand the rules legislative proceedings. So I did a report about it. And that said, for this aspect, the speaker was wrong here. This should have been this. This should have been this. After the report, and the speaker thought I was against him. In his opinion, he said to some of his colleagues that I've been paid to malign his character. Because of that, he doesn't want to speak to me. And I'm
so it means that the Speaker of the House of Representatives don't speak to the President of the Legislative Press.
At a point, he
so it means that current. This is what I asked: the issue of relationship. The speaker have had 3 press conferences in recent time. He's the only speaker in the history of Liberia, if I can understand, that will call for a press conference with over 50 journalists in the Capitol building, and you are called only 6 to cover you. Those you believe that will move by your whims and caprices. We've said no. My name is Musa, Kenneh. I represent ethical journalism. I represent independent journalism. If you don't want to, so the speaker want to bat you in.
No, he cannot do that because, and I've been at the executive mansion before as a reporter. Madam Salif and all of the guys at the executive mansion can attest to it. My independence cannot be taken away. Sarah's body used to be the press secretary. He can attest to that. And Jeremy Pierre took over. They cannot do that. And
so, what does this speak about? What does this speak in terms of the professional line of it? You are the president of the Legislative Press Pool, and the Speaker of the House is having an issue with you. Then what about your members? It means that there's a sour relationship.
For me, I believe
there is a sour relationship.
I believe we have a good relationship with the House
But
of Representatives because
you're not speaking to the speaker. The head
no,
of,
I'm speaking. I say at the time. I think 2 weeks ago when I was standing, he came while passing. He shook my hand for the first time. That was after the director of press approached him that what he was doing was against his office. He also
you mean the director of press stood in the face of his boss to say he was wrong?
No, he said to his boss, what you're doing is not in favor of my office because I'm the liaison between your office and the press. And the press should be able to do their job.
He did that both ways, you think?
Yes, I'm on an obligation to report for all the public the real story, then the speaker. The speaker was elected by the people. And I'm here to represent the people, to report for the people. I'm not going to bow down for anybody. I'm not going to hide.
Is this happening to some of your members also since you are?
It's happening to some of my members. And in the last time we had a discussion, each time a speaker take over, we had a meeting to discuss where we go. But since this new administration took over, we're here to have an meeting with the leadership. We've had that with the leadership of the Liberian Senate, Pro Tem Abbott Chair. We've not had it.
But you had the deputy speaker at your retreat at the weekend.
And that is what the deputy speaker said at the retreat, that they will try their utmost best to see how they can meet. We can meet differences. We can come together for this relationship. And I'm still keen. I say any relationship with the House of Representatives, with the Speaker of the House of Representatives, is going to be on mutual respect, understanding our role as independent journalists. And this relationship will not undermine that. Any relationship that will undermine our credibility, that will undermine our independence, that will undermine our credibility, I will not stand for it.
Speaker Bofachima seems to be your friend as journalist. He was one person always in the news in the last regime, and all of a sudden, it's just getting out on the sour side. But overall, at the capital, there are different representatives representing different constituents, and even at the level of the Senate. Is it happening with some of them, or is it happening with everyone?
There are so many great lawmakers in there who wants to see the real issues happening, despite the reports against them, despite everything we do, we still have that relationship, right? Because most of the reports that I get, sometimes it's from lawmakers, those that I'm closer to. Sometimes lawmakers will have to go to the executive and want to hard things up, because I have friends. And these are friends that will come to me, Musa, this is the situation, this is it. And what I can do is to verify them and make sure that they are right and report them. If we get to the Senate, we are close to so many senators in there. They are my friends. You go to hospital, I have so many friends. But my problem is, I will not allow friendship to see the work that I do. And that is what...
Is that what you also pass on to your members?
This is something that we said to all of our members, and we also say to them. During our last session with Edwin Clark, we highlighted that to the full, that we should report without fear or favor. Report for the public. And this is who we are. We should report not for lawmakers. So as a legislative reporter, my responsibility is clear. And
you may be getting yourself into trouble in terms of contempt of plenary, like you getting on the back of the speaker, the head of the legislature.
As a journalist, we fear nothing but to do wrong. So our job is to just report.
So you are also guided by ethics.
That is what I'm saying. Everything I do, I'm guided by ethics. I want to say something right. In recent time, I was taken at the PR Complaints Committee by Senator Dallas Gué, who accused me of requesting finance for him after I reported a story, or an investigative story against he and Representative Thomas Fala collecting money from people under the guise of taking them to the United States of America and Australia. I reported the story. I came, and it was a report around town. Everyone discussed it across Liberia. So politicians will always want to fight back. Their mood of fighting back is to say, this person, he wants to blackmail me, he's want to extract money from me and things. So he wrote the PR Media Complaints Committee. We appear before the committee. They asked him to explain. He explained, and I play my report. Balance, yes. Fair, yes. To the point, yes, I did that. And then they asked him, you accuse him of extorting money from you. Where is it? He could not provide evidence. You accuse him of this. Where is it? He could not say anything. The committee realized that everything he said against me was something he did to save face. He could not prove it. So at the end of the day, I was free. You know why I was free? Because I've always done my work based on ethics. Ethical journalism is key.
So Musa, what's the future of legislative reporters on Capitol Hill with these kind of situations coming up? Are we looking at a day where the plenary will be closed to legislative reporters?
And I don't think these are things that we want to see. But if it happens at this time, we will not be surprised. We will not be surprised. That is why we are key on working with stakeholders in the legislature who believe that the current trend is not healthy for our democracy. And like the Deputy Speaker said to us, they will try their utmost best to arrange this meeting, and we will see how to handle some of the issues that are happening right now, because the current Speaker is a beneficiary of the benevolence of the media. Because it is through the media that he is working.
But you were simply doing your work. You weren't doing a favor for the
No, I was simply doing my job. So he should understand that whatsoever we are doing now, we are also simply doing our job. That's all.
Do you have personal issues with House Speaker Buford Chambers?
No, I don't have any. He's been my friend. We've had this friendship for long. We've been friends since his first term. And I don't think we'll have. I want to say to you, the former Deputy Speaker, Hence Batu, has similar problem. At first, I did a story. He said to me that I was against him. I've been paid by his opponents to do this report. And there was a time the lawmakers started to remove him. And I read the rules and I said to them, what you guys are doing is wrong. I stood up for him. I reported for him because I want to follow the rules. At the end of the day, he called me and said to me, Musa, I'm sorry. I didn't know that you were a man of principle who follow your heart and not follow what people say. It happened between I and former Speaker Ellis Taylor. The first crisis, Honorable Gray and Honorable Edwin Snow and others thought I was in their favor, because I was reporting rightly. So the speaker at the time, he said no, he could not work with me and things. So the first battle failed. They could not remove him. The second battle started to remove him. I realized that the procedure was wrong. Their rules are clear. To have a parallel session, you should have the sergeant at arms seated, who should cry the session to order. Yeah. You have the secretariat. And to change them, you should have 2/3 vote. I realized that the teachers
were those things were
done. So I said to them that everything you've done is wrong and is unethical. So because of that, and while doing that, Honorable Snow and others came, they said, I've been paid again by Speaker Taylor, and at this time, so you could see if you are
you're getting a lot of money because people think you've been paid.
People think, because in reporting for politicians, especially if you are reporting at the House of Representatives, all you do, report consciously. Follow the rules.
Musa,
follow the Constitution.
Musa, why are you becoming a controversial president?
I'm not a controversial president. I'm an independent president.
It's in the face of the lawmakers. They think that the higher bidder probably got you.
Okay, they will always think that way. But I also say to them, you want to say that you are entitled to your view. The first crisis, I asked this guy, did you give me any money? He said no. Another person, did you? That is why I've always said, my journalism is different. Even a cost. Right now, I don't have a car, right? I walk, come here, because this is what I believe in. I don't need a penny from you. I don't need anything from you. I'm well trained to do this job.
Okay.
So that is why even if you see our retreat, we are just from. If you see getting to where we got, It was so difficult, raising the finance, raising things. People refused to sponsor this workshop because I have said to my colleagues that we should be independent.
Okay.
It was just by the grace of God that we were all be successful, because I'm loved by God, because I'm doing the right thing.
Musa, we having Musa Kenneh. He's the president of the Legislative Press poll this morning on the morning show. They came from Kenneh at the weekend at a 2-day retreat, trying to set new agendas, define new professional standards for legislative reporting in Liberia, as well as trying to do some networking in the sub-region. He's talking about issues also on Capitol Hill, relationship, lawmaker to reporters, and also talking about feud between him and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. But is that going to have any impact on legislative reporting on Capitol Hill? Right now, Musa, let's look at the future for Legis Pool. What are your plans? What are your focus, apart from going to the sub-region to have your members having a relationship or something? What are your timelines?
For me, my major plan is to see an independent body covering the legislature, like our colleagues are within the sub-region. That is why training is also key. Besides that, we need empowerment. The media is under empowered. This is the situation. So at the end, some of our colleagues are forced into unethical issues. See what is happening now. Most of the media institutions are not paying their staffers. This is a problem. This is becoming alarming. That is why from here I should be meeting the president of the Reporter Association and other bodies, so we can meet and issue a strong statement against these acts that are undermining professionalism within the media. And the media executive.
Are your members also affected? People reporting from the capital.
The entire media in Liberia is affected. And because we have one of the biggest.
Are you affected also?
The media is affected.
Are you affected?
If the media is affected, then I am affected. Because I am a leader within the media.
But you come from a media institution, Musa.
I come from a media institution.
But you're getting paid.
I'm paid. I am paid, right? The institution may have some problem, right? There may be problem at every institution. We have said to our institutions, I'm not referring to one, we are saying to our institutions, if you want to have a vibrant media, you should please take care of your reporters. If you cannot do that, there will be problem. So our media executives are undermining the media.
Is this one of the reasons why we have a lot of ethical transgressions taking place
that's the reason why,
at all levels, including legislative
that's the reason
who are being bought by lawmakers?
That's the reason we are having some ethical problems.
And some of your members bought. Does some of your members actually have lawmakers? They are special reporters too?
No, I don't think you want to use bought in our codes. No reporter can be bought by a single representative.
But
because you don't have the finance.
People say that.
You are entitled to your opinion, sir. I can also say, Moses is this. Moses, you've known me for years.
But now you want a change. He said, I'm entitled to my opinion. The people are entitled to their opinion, but you want a change. And he said, I should not say people they are bought.
No, if he said a reporter cannot be bought, a single reporter may choose to undermine his core ethic, like people does in other professions. A lawyer may choose to undermine his professional ethic, right? A professional nurse may do so. So it's possible that with over 100 reporters, one person may choose to undermine his integrity. And that is why in our constitution, if we realize you are investigated and we realize that you're undermining that, there will be strong action.
What about the 6 reporters that go to the Speaker press conferences?
There is no problem with any reporter going to cover a press conference of a speaker. Our disappointment is a speaker cannot be cherry picking. A speaker cannot be picking among institutions.
But I don't think you should have a problem with the speaker directly. The office of the director of the press bureau should be here responsible for this.
No, the office of the director of the press bureau is not responsible for this, because we've had meeting with the press bureau. The press bureau itself is aggrieved. If you listen to the press bureau statement in Buchanan City, he said that his office is being used as a park race car. right now under the administration of Speaker Baffa
A repeat of Joseph Boakar's campaign debate statement.
Yes, he said that his office was operational during the administration of Speaker Eric Salo and Emmanuel Nukwe, Edwin Snow, but right now it's a pack race car. So this is not a situation that affects only us. Even lawmakers are complaining that their offices are not effective because of the move.
But do you think the legislature is running well? Are section held on time? Is it regular?
Right now, the legislature, I think there's a need to reform and revamp the entire legislature.
My God.
Yes.
You're saying that?
And I'm right. If you see, the functionaries...
I learned there's a jailhouse now
the functionaries of the lawmakers...
I learned there's a jailhouse on Capitol Hill. And you
Capitol Hill should always have police station. The functionaries of the legislature are not working. Because that is why there's a modernization plan at the legislature to see how we can modernize the legislature, the functionaries of the legislature. But now, if the speaker take onto himself all of the powers, the chairman, the chairman rules and order take on himself.
Do we have an absolute speaker now?
For example, if you see I think so. If you see the Congress, the U.S. Congress, the chief clerk of the U.S. Congress is more powerful as compared to the speaker or individual.
But that is not the case in Liberia.
The case in Liberia, the chief clerk position is becoming nominal. The speaker, the chief clerk should be the head of central administration, right? But that is something that is in the modernization plan, how legislature should run. But in Liberia, the speaker control the finances. The speaker determine who takes what. The speaker determine everything. Then next, you have the deputy speaker not doing much. You have the chairman on rules for the administration doing the work of the chief clerk. Everything about Liberia is upside down. That is the situation.
Thank you so much, Musa Kenneh. Thanks for coming this morning.
Thank you very much, Moses. We are grateful.
The controversial president of the Legislative Press poll, he has just digressed a little from his own retreat at the weekend, and also issues of legislature, trying to delve into current situations at the Liberian legislature. Until then, join us tomorrow morning at 10:05 for another edition of the morning show. Many thanks to my colleague Julius Compton, who's been here with me. Christopher Walker brought you sports. Emmanuel Jaina has been controlling all of the production on this morning. Musa Kenneh has been my special guest on the program. My name is Moses. Thanks for joining us. Join us tomorrow morning. This is KMTV, the home of creativity. We say you imagine, we create.